You guys, we are almost halfway through 2023. If you're struggling to feel motivated and productive, this video is for you. I'm gonna start off this video by apologizing in advance because this is the best filming spot in the entire house, and it's also the best napping spot in the house, and both of the dogs are on the couch next to me snoring pretty loud. So hopefully we can get past that. I'm gonna insert a clip of them right now taking a little afternoon nap because they are so freaking cute. I'm obsessed with them. Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin if you're new here, and on this YouTube channel we talk about all things building your dream life and your dream closet. We talk about fashion, beauty, femininity, lifestyle, mindset, just overall living the soft life and being the best version of yourself inside and out. And so if that sounds like a community that you want to join, please feel free to click the subscribe button down below. I would love to have you on this channel and joining our growing family. And feel free to follow me over on my Instagram at Caitlin Mahina. I also post on TikTok and Pinterest if Instagram is not your thing anymore. All of the links to all of my social media platforms will be down below, so feel free to follow whichever ones that you feel called to. I just want to say a huge shout out to all the people who have subscribed to my channel and all the people that watch my videos, whether it's my shorts or my actual like long form sit down YouTube videos like this. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. Ever since I got back on YouTube a couple of weeks ago, I have noticed quite the uptick in viewership and subscribers, and I'm just very grateful. So I wanted to say that before we get into the video. Thank you so much for all of you who follow me, whether it's on YouTube or anywhere else. I am so grateful. Thank you. I appreciate you. Look guys, I know life is busy. Trust me, whether you're a mom, whether you're a dog mom, whether you have family stuff going on, you work multiple jobs like I do, you know, you're trying to maintain a social life, you're trying to stay fit, you're trying to eat right, you're trying to keep your house clean, you're trying to keep everything on track. I completely understand. I often get criticized by my family and friends and loved ones for having too much on my plate to the point where I can't do anything else if something doesn't go to plan. And so I used to think of that as a good thing. I used to think to myself, oh my gosh, like look at me, I'm so productive, I'm so busy, I'm great, I'm awesome, I'm getting my stuff done. But then I would inevitably get burned out, which is why I stopped posting on YouTube for months at a time. I would, you know, stop seeing friends and family. I'd be generally really irritable. I'd stop working out. I wouldn't prioritize sleep at night. And I was always in this like going 100 miles per hour or totally burned out on the couch or in my bed, like not wanting to move. And 2023 has been many things, but something that I'm super grateful for that 2023 has brought me is I finally feel like I have a grip on how to actually be productive in a healthy and sustainable way that keeps my motivation generally high. And I feel like, you know, a lot of people are looking at their clocks or their calendars right now going, where has the year gone? We're almost halfway through 2023. What's going on? I said I was gonna do all of these things with this year and I haven't gotten to them. What can I do to turn this around? So I'm kind of treating this as a, you know, mid-year refresh, kind of a little kick to get you going on your goals or keep you going on that journey, keep you feeling productive, keep you feeling motivated in a sustainable and healthy way. And I know on my channel we talk a lot about like romanticizing your life and the soft life. That is a huge part of my life. I'd say that's probably like maybe 50% of my life is, you know, living in the moment and enjoying things and like taking my time and slowing down and, you know, kind of a more feminine approach to life. But that cannot be everything that your life is made up of. Now that I'm thinking about it, I actually did a video earlier this year about masculine versus feminine energy and like different habits that I had to take on or get rid of in order to really feel like the best version of myself. And I truly do feel so imbalanced lately. Like I'm still living that, you know, fun, romantic, soft life, but that can't be everything. You still need to get stuff done. You still need to get the to-do list items done. You still should be striving for things or looking to achieve things, whether that's, you know, just on a personal level or at a work level or at a friendship level or a fitness level, whatever it is. You can't just live the soft life. As someone who is a huge soft life enthusiast, you need productivity and some motivation in your life to actually feel satisfied at the end of the day and to not just be sitting there getting your nails done, doing your hair and sipping tea and just, if that's all you want to do, then great. But odds are if you are on this channel and you are a woman living in the 21st century, you also have goals that you're going after. But I know that life gets in the way and sometimes you feel like you're being productive, but you also feel like nothing's getting done and everything's crazy and you just want to, you know, go watch a movie and do nothing. Let's talk about productivity versus busyness, because this is something that I had to realize for myself recently. I think that society as a whole, I'm laughing to myself because the dogs are snoring so hard, so you probably can't hear them. I hope it's not too loud or distracting, but whatever, they're dogs. I'm obsessed with them. I love them. I would do anything for them. I just want to put them in my pocket and take them everywhere. Anyway, dogs. I feel like that both as a society and as individuals, we tend to glorify being busy. Like, no one brags about, oh yeah, I did absolutely nothing this weekend and I watched an entire Netflix show and I ate, you know, a huge bag of popcorn and I did absolutely nothing and I wore the same sweatpants all weekend. No one brags about that. What people really glorify and choose to show to other people is like the amount of stuff they got done, or the adventures they went on, or the fun things they did, or the tasks they got done. And I don't know if this is like related to FOMO or anything, but I feel like that need for busyness and that need to always feel like you're doing something and like showing it to the world that you're doing stuff and you're achieving things and you're accomplishing things, I feel like that has created this sense of busyness. Like, we all just need to be busy little worker bees. And I know for myself that I have been trapped in this mindset of like, oh well, I'm busy, or I need to be busy in order to like have value or worth like in society, or you know, to other people in my life. And what I have learned is that being busy does not necessarily mean that you're actually getting anything done in like a focused, positive, healthy, productive, helpful way. When I think about busyness, I think about spinning your wheels. You're just go, go, go all the time, but you're not necessarily actually getting anywhere. And when I talk about being productive, I'm talking about actually engaging in focused, deep work, whether that's working on projects, working towards goals, working on your fitness journey, making improvements in your life, or even if it's just hanging out with friends. There's a difference between hanging out with your friends and just being like, oh yeah, I'm here because it's the right thing to do and everyone needs to know that I have friends and I'm hanging out with my friends, versus like one-on-one, individual quality time, phones down, you know, talking about stuff, making memories. So in any aspect of your life, you can choose to be busy and just be showing up and being there and checking stuff off the list, or you can actually be intentional with your time and intentional when you're working on something, or when you're in a moment, or when you're doing something, whatever it is, whether it's social or productive, that actually makes you feel like you've got something done at the end of the day to a much higher quality standard than you would if you were just doing stuff just to do stuff. So specifically when it comes to getting things done that are like your goals, or you need to be productive in order to like maintain a household or run a household, something that I highly encourage you to do, and a trick that works for me, is when I'm blocking out time, like I'm gonna take this 1 hour to like deep clean my bedroom. I always give myself more time than I think I need, because life comes up, you inevitably get distracted, whatever, that's fine. But still, I like to kind of race the clock, and like not in a frantic way, not like I'm just throwing clothes everywhere and shoving things under the bed in order to have my room be clean. But I have just found that when I'm able to kind of mentally put myself in the space of like, okay, I have an hour to do this, but let's see how well and how quickly I can do it, I often end up getting ahead as I'm going throughout my day. So at the end of the day, I have more time for myself. I have heard this theory before. I've heard it more than once. I don't remember where I've heard it or who originally talked about it, but the theory essentially is that humans will take up the amount of time that they give a task. For example, you're giving yourself 1 hour to clean the kitchen when in reality it probably only takes 20 minutes. Your brain will subconsciously find a way to fill that entire hour if you're not being focused. For example, when I was in college, especially when it came to like doing certain work assignments, what you can do is like, you know, maybe you have a math homework assignment or something and you know that it's gonna take you about an hour, but it could maybe go faster. You will find a way subconsciously to take up that entire hour, even if it's like a really short, easy homework session, whether it's, oh, well, I've still got like 30 minutes and I'm doing really well, so let me just like open up my phone real quick and text my friend back, and then you like go into this hole of like talking to people. Or I would do it a lot with like writing a paper. I would say, oh, well, I'm really fast at writing papers, so I should give myself 8 hours to write this. Say it was a really long paper, I should give myself 8 hours to outline this and write this, but if I really had to, I could do it in 4, and then one way or another, I would find a way to procrastinate so that I only ended up having 4 hours of like focused crunch time to write that paper. I know myself and a lot of people that I was friends with in college would say, oh, well, I work faster under pressure, or I work better under pressure. I do think that there is some truth to that. And so I would highly encourage you that instead of like allowing yourself, oh, well, I've got 8 hours, I've got plenty of time. No, do it, rush yourself, try to beat the clock, and you will get stuff done so much faster and you'll have lots of extra time left over. The next thing that I want to talk about is really prioritizing what is actually helpful and productive for you and your goals and what you're trying to achieve. For example, and I'm hoping this doesn't, trigger anyone, I used to be someone who a big part of my fitness and health journey was counting calories. And I chose to stop counting calories, one, because it wasn't a priority in my life anymore. I have a body that I'm more than happy with. I don't feel the need to count calories, but I'm a bit embarrassed to admit that I used to have such an intense grip and like tight control on, logging my food, counting my calories, counting just different parts of my food, weighing myself, like just really spending like up to an hour a day, like spread out throughout the day, researching how many calories were in certain foods, and like just really spending way too much time on that. I could have used that hour to do something that would have benefited me more on my health journey. I could have used that extra hour to sleep more. I probably wasn't getting enough sleep. I could have used that extra hour to, take more time on my workouts and like really get the most out of my workouts and have a focused workout instead of like rushing through the motions. Honestly, I would even recommend writing a list down of like all the things that you're looking to do, whether it's certain workouts that you're trying to do, maybe you're trying to read a certain amount of books, maybe whatever the project is or the goal is that you're going after. What is actually super important? Is that 1 hour that you spend at a cafe every morning answering emails, is it actually super productive and important for you? Or does that kind of turn into like a weird social thing where you end up seeing people and you don't really end up getting stuff done, and you would actually be much better off if you made coffee and worked at home? I promise you, if you sit down and you actually go through the things in your day, in your week, in your month that you see as like task items or parts of your day that you need to get done, there are without a doubt some things on there that either are not relevant to you anymore. When you're putting time into these activities, are you actually getting enough value back for the time that you're spending that makes it worthwhile to do the tasks? Seriously, analyze every single thing. Back when I was living in California, I used to spend hours and hours cleaning my house. I really was probably not spending all that time actually cleaning. I was like finding random things to get distracted by and like deciding out of the blue, oh, I'm gonna clean out my entire closet today, when I had literally just done it like a couple of weeks ago. And so really seriously take an honest look at what you have going on in your life and see if any of it can get cut out or tweaked in a way that serves you better. On the note of being productive and actually using your time well, something that I want to bring up here is to quit the endless scrolling. Quit the endless consumption of media. This is a huge deal. I know it's a very hard habit to break, especially if you legitimately, love getting inspiration from social media, or at least that's what you're telling yourself, or you're just bored and it feels like an emotional need for you. I understand. We've all been in that position before, whatever it is where you just really enjoy consuming lots and lots of media. I still have to snap myself out of just the endless scroll probably every other day, because if we're being really honest with ourselves, most people are addicted to consuming content in one way or another, whether it's YouTube videos, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is that you're into. One way or another, most of us are consumed by TV shows, media, just anything, and we find ourselves just mindlessly consuming them. And honestly, most of the time that you're consuming media and doing the mindless scroll, you're probably not actually really absorbing anything. I am not embarrassed to admit that I've absolutely done this before. I know we all have. You say you're gonna go to bed and then you spend an extra hour scrolling on Instagram or something, and then you're just like, what did I gain from that? Like, do I even remember any of the content that I consumed? Or like, even worse, when you're watching a show or a movie, but you're kind of doing something else at the same time, or you're not really thinking about it, and then you have to like go back and watch parts of it again because you missed it. If you find yourself struggling with this, I would highly encourage you to find some kind of practice that helps you keep your goals at the forefront of your mind every day. So I journal every day. I also review my weekly, monthly, and yearly goals pretty much every day. I definitely review my, weekly and daily goals every day. The yearly ones, not all the time, but anyways, I would find a way to get that at the forefront of your mind every day, whether it's like you have a reminder on your phone, hey, we're trying to, get in the best shape of our life, or hey, we need to make sure that we plan the garden this summer so we can enjoy it, whatever it is. Ever since I started keeping my goals more so at the forefront of my mind, I have found that when I get into that phase where I just like get home from work, I'm exhausted, and I just, I'll spend 5 minutes, lying on my side on TikTok, like on my bed, just like scrolling mindlessly, I will stop myself in my tracks because I'll be like, no, is this possibility of me going down a TikTok rabbit hole and losing like an hour of my day, is this worth it, when instead I could be talking to brands about, you know, working with them, or I could be shooting content or editing content or getting an extra hour of sleep that most of the time I really could benefit from. Keep your goals at the forefront of your mind, but also a actual trick that I use probably every single day is I count down from 3. If I know that I need to be doing something, whether it's literally getting out of bed and putting my workout clothes on, or getting off of YouTube so that I can go to sleep on time, whatever it is, I will count down from 3 in my head. When I catch myself, like, no excuses, you have to develop a slight level of discipline here. I will be sitting on my bed after work and being like, oh man, I really don't wanna, you know, shoot content or whatever. And then I'll remember, wait, no, me shooting content means that I can get X, Y, and Z goal accomplished. And it is worth it for me to get up right now because my future self will thank me for this. 3, 2, 1, and I stand up and I go do the thing, and I always feel so glad that I got up and did the thing. I promise you that actually accomplishing something instead of just mindlessly consuming content feels so much better when you're done. You might not want to do it in the moment, but once you're done, your future self will thank you. Speaking of your goals, if you feel like you are having a really hard time sticking to them and you feel like you really want them to become true, but you just like, you get overwhelmed and you don't know what to do, I talked about this in my How to Make 2023 the Best Year of Your Life video, which is still relevant. You still have plenty of time to watch that video and, you know, take some lessons from it. I'll link it up above. But it is so critical that you take your big goals and you break them down into smaller actionable steps. And so, for example, say you want to buy your dream car and you know that it costs a certain amount of money and this is what your income level is currently at, and you want to get the car, but it feels out of reach because when your girlfriends invite you to get drinks, you're just like, heck yeah, I want to get drinks. And then before you know it, every weekend you're spending, you know, anywhere from $50 to $100 on stuff that you weren't planning on. And then what are you gonna do? How are you gonna save for that dream car? So in the moment when you're thinking, okay, I want this dream car, or I want this dream body, I want this dream whatever. So you have your big goal, break it down into like some smaller goals and then some smaller goals all the way down until you get to literally your weekly or even daily tasks. If you are not breaking your goals down into daily or weekly actionable tasks that you can get done, you will never just wake up and achieve the big goal. It's not just gonna get handed to you. You're not just gonna get the dream car showing up in your driveway if you are not making the conscious choice every day to skip the Starbucks and drink coffee at home or drink a coffee at work. If you've decided, hey, I'm gonna stop getting my nails done for a bit because it's not a necessary expense and I really, really want this car. This car is very important to me. So if you are not actually giving yourself things to do every single day, the big things are just not gonna happen. And I know every day when you're doing a workout and you don't wanna do it, or you're choosing not to buy something that you kind of want because you're like, oh, I guess I'll have a car 5 years from now, whatever it is, you need to keep thinking about that future version of you that is gonna be so grateful that you decided to actually be productive, go after your goals, stick to the plan. I promise you, you will be so much better for it. Make a schedule. I don't care what it looks like. I feel like as this video goes on, I'm getting like sassier and sassier, but I am very, very passionate about my schedule and making a schedule, kind of like breaking down things into actionable items and actionable steps that you can take every day. I am a huge believer that if you don't have some level of structure and schedule in your life, whether that's like me, I have a pretty intensely scheduled out iCalendar or Apple Calendar on my phone and on my computer. You don't need to go that in depth. Maybe you simply just want like a piece of paper and every day you write your little action items on there and you just check them off as they come. That's fine. You can do whatever it is that you want, but if you don't have some level of structure to your day, the day will just slip by. And honestly, you will forget like what the things are that you want to have done because life gets busy. We all have stuff. Unless you have like the most perfect memory ever, you're just not gonna remember all of the things that you promised yourself you were gonna do and all the little habits that you promised yourself you were gonna stay on top of in order to like be the best version of yourself. And in this calendar, you need to treat your goals and your dreams as non-negotiables. This has been a game changer for me. This is the reason why I've actually been able to be consistent on social media for the past couple weeks, which you might think a couple weeks, that's not like a long time to be consistent on social media. For me, this is quite a long time to be consistent on social media because I'd always come up with excuses. I'd be like, oh, well, you know, the weather's not perfect, or you know, if I don't hang out with so-and-so, they're gonna think that I don't like them, or whatever the case is. No, if you actually want certain things in your life, it's not optional. It's not, oh, I don't really feel like it today. Then you're not gonna get there. And ever since I've made creating content and doing workouts in like different parts of my life, ever since I've made them non-negotiables, like it's not an option. It's who I am. I am a content creator. I upload on YouTube every week. I post on Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest every weekday. And if I missed a weekday accidentally because something happened, it's going up on a Saturday or a Sunday. I am sticking to my content schedule. And if you are not actually going to be consistent and treat these things as not optional, treat them as required in order to actually get the life that you want, you're just not gonna make the time. And so I know that things come up. I have 2 jobs. I work 60 hours a week. I am not kidding. Sometimes I wish I was kidding. I work 60 hours a week, 30 hours of content creation, 30 hours of like my regular 9-to-5 job. Obviously it's not a 9-to-5, it's a 10-to-4. But anyway, I have a busy life. I work out every morning. I help my family with stuff. I have a lot going on. But because I have actually scheduled into my day, we're doing emails, we're shooting a YouTube video, we're styling stuff for an Instagram reel, we're talking to brands. Guess what? All of these amazing things have become a part of my life, and I'm welcoming all of this abundance and success into my life because I have made it non-negotiable. So whatever it is that you want, it is not an option. It is non-negotiable, and then you'll actually get what you want in your life. And on that note, I know I'm probably starting to come across as like really harsh and like over the top maybe of like, you must do this, you must do that. And I promise it's coming from a good place as someone who has struggled with productivity and all this motivation stuff in the past. But I wanna say that you also need to make sure that you're celebrating the little victories along the way. And I know that sometimes it feels silly to celebrate like, oh, I went to the gym today, when you're like 20 pounds away from your goal and you feel like crap inside or whatever it is. Hey, you know what? I went to the gym. I went to the gym. That's awesome. I am so proud of myself. The past version of me would have been like, oh no, I'm on my period. I don't want to go. I'm not going to go. Even if it's something as small as, oh, in the break room at work, there's these snacks that I love, and every single day I get a snack, and I have not had one of those snacks that makes me feel terrible for a moment of brief enjoyment. I chose not to have one of those today. Good for you. Sure, you might not have your dream body, but you made a choice. You made a choice today and you improved yourself today. And those little victories, if you're not celebrating them, if you're not celebrating the journey to actually get to your goals, you are gonna be miserable for like 90% of your life. You're only gonna be happy for like the 10% of the time that you've actually achieved your goals. Think about that one. Another thing that I want to say to hopefully take this video down a notch a little bit in intensity is, yes, it's important to have routines. I have routines. I have a morning routine and a nighttime routine that I absolutely love. So it's important to have those routines, but your routines need to have some level of flexibility built into them. Life happens. Your car doesn't start. You get toothpaste on your shirt. You have a flat tire so you can't make it to the gym. You have a dentist appointment that if you go to your dentist appointment, it means that you don't have time to work out. Whatever it is, stuff happens. I understand that. I'm not saying that you have to be like perfect all the time. I most certainly am not perfect all the time. And so what I've done with a lot of my routines is I have built a little bit of extra time into my routines, or I have a certain threshold of like productivity that I must always hit. Like, I don't work out 5 days a week. I used to work out 7 days a week. I aim to work out 5 days a week, but if I wake up one morning and I am incredibly sore and you know what, I think it would actually be a better use of my time if I just edited a YouTube video instead of going to the gym, I am okay with that and I will forgive myself, and it still aligns with the goals that I have in my life. Sorry, my hair is so big right now and it's kind of distracting me in the viewfinder, but I feel like people don't know that I have really long hair because it's always behind me. This is such a first world problem. And so I actually want to bring up this book that was super helpful to me. It's very popular. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And this book is really valuable. And I found this book and started reading this book at the very beginning of this year when I was in a super low place. It was like the depth of winter. I was miserable in my body. I felt super unproductive. I hadn't posted on social media. I kind of hated myself. I couldn't get out of bed. I was in a very, very dark place. I was post breakup. I didn't have a great relationship with my family. I was hating my job. I was just in a very miserable place when I decided to make that video about turning your life around in 2023. So this book really is what kind of started changing the tide for me. I'm not gonna say it totally pulled me out of my slump. I pulled myself out of my slump. Thank you very much. But what I really got out of Atomic Habits are so many very like no-brainer tips and tricks to like really help you be productive and like the best version of yourself, and just develop those habits that really make you a better person and make you feel accomplished and make you feel like the best version of yourself. And off the top of my head, it's so funny, I've only read it one time, so I can't remember like every single thing that I got out of it, but subconsciously I know that I incorporate so many teachings from that book into my day, whether it's like the 3, 2, 1 get up thing. I think that's something that I kind of got from that book, or whether it's, you know, making a vote for what your future self wants and what's going to be good for your future self versus like a moment of temporary enjoyment. And there's a lot of like basic level psychology in this book that like helps you understand why you make certain actions. Something that actually changed my life is this whole realization that humans are sort of naturally bred to crave instant gratification, because it used to be something that would help us survive in the wild. Not gonna go too in depth with it. Seriously, pick this book up. It's gonna be linked down below. If you're in a slump and you just need something to get you started, recommend this book, because it's a great combination of basic tips where you're just kind of like, ah, well, no duh, that's a great idea. Yeah, I'm gonna start thinking of it that way or doing it that way. And also it's got the psychology to kind of back up what it's talking about in a way that's like easy to digest and understand. And even as someone who really feels like I have spent a lot of my life being productive, I was like, I don't really know what I'm gonna get out of this book. Like, what could this man possibly teach me about, you know, getting stuff done? And really, really great book. It is the reason that I have gotten on the track that I have this year in 2023 of just turning my life around, and so grateful to James Clear for that. So please check this book out. Like I said, link down below. It's a game changer. The last thing that I want to talk about is a little bit cliche, but you need to prioritize your rest. And don't click off the video. I know we've all heard that a million times. I know that I've been in places in my life when people are like, oh, well, in order to be productive, you have to make sure that you're well rested. I'm like, well, if I'm resting, then how am I being productive? Like, come on, that's not possible. I used to think that it was gonna be impossible for me to ever slow down my life, for me to ever, you know, take a break or stop, because if I was resting, then I wasn't actively doing and achieving and accomplishing. That's insane. That is actually insane. And if you are in a place right now where you're like, what do you mean? I can't rest. I don't have time. I don't have time for myself. Make the time. Find a way and make the time. Whether it's, like I talked about earlier, actually making that list of things that are critical for you and that you actually need to get done, and sort of analyzing it and seeing what's not important. What can you take off of your plate in order to make time for yourself? Do them, do that. I promise you, you cannot pour from an empty cup. I know that saying is quite cliche. It's been said a million times. You can't pour from an empty cup, blah, blah, blah. I get that, but I have to remind myself of that pretty often, because it is so true. Often when I find myself feeling like burned out and like, oh my gosh, like I can't do this, there's too much on my plate, it's because I have not made the time to actually decompress and rest from being productive. Because being productive takes emotional energy, it takes brain power. You know, you're scheduling things, you're prioritizing things, you're trying to get things done in a way that's as fast as possible, as efficient as possible. You're just constantly going. As someone who has a very active brain, to the point where I used to like have pretty bad insomnia, because I was just always thinking about what's next on my to-do list and what I got done and what I didn't get done, and I was just laying in bed thinking about being productive and not actually resting, and so I couldn't really properly be productive the next day. Do yourself a favor, find time to rest. And when you're resting, make sure that you're actually prioritizing resting. Like, you can't just be, oh yeah, I'm resting, but really you're doing emails, or really you're scrolling your phone mindlessly and consuming content mindlessly. We talked about that. Make sure that that rest is concentrated, whether it's actually just sleeping, whether it's I am going to spend the last hour of my day with a glass of wine and a good book and a candle to help me fall asleep tonight and sleep really well. That's resting. Resting is not a privilege that you have to earn from like being a certain level of productive. It is a right. It is something that should be incorporated into your day every day, whether it's a nap on the weekends or 15 to 30 minutes to yourself at the end of the day, where you're just meditating or reading or whatever it is, enjoying something to drink, getting your cozy slippers on, whatever it is. Rest is just as important as productivity. You cannot be productive if you're not well rested. Thank you guys so much for watching this video to the end. It ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would. When I was scripting this video, I just had some bullet points and I was like, yeah, I can talk about productivity, I got this. And then I remembered how passionate I am about this subject as I was filming it. So thank you for sticking with me to the end of this video. I hope that you actually got something helpful out of it. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. If you have anything that you want to add, also let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video and you like the vibe on this channel, feel free to hit the subscribe button down below. I would love if you joined this family, and feel free to follow me over on my Instagram or any social media platforms that you feel called to, that you feel like you vibe with the most. I love every single one of my followers. I love talking to you guys. I so appreciate you. So thank you for watching. I hope you're having a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.